Well, hey, my name's Miles, and here's just a little bit of my story about how I became a Christian, about how I put my trust in Jesus. When I was growing up, I went to church every week with my mum. She was my Sunday school teacher, and so I have really fond memories of going to Sunday school and singing songs about Jesus and colouring in and doing crafts and playing games. But it didn't really mean anything to me. It didn't change my life in any way. It was just kind of the thing that we did. And so as I kind of grew up, I started going to high school, I started to become just a very anxious person because I cared way too much about what other people thought about me, particularly what girls thought about me. And so this turned into a really kind of destructive and gross time in my life. I started doing things that I didn't really want to do. I started saying things that I didn't really want to say. And it was just no good. And it was fine with me because I cared so much about what other people thought about me. So fortunately, my friend Braden, he probably saw what was going on, and he invited me to come to youth group about year 9. He said something like, "Miles, you should come to youth group, it'll change your life." And so I thought to myself, yeah, I should. I'll go to youth group because I remember learning about God from Sunday school. Maybe I'll go and he'll solve all of my problems for me. So I went along, and that's not what I heard. What I did hear was that God had demonstrated his love for me by sending his son Jesus to live a perfect life, to die on the cross for me, and to rise again so that my sins can be forgiven. And even though I'd heard all those kinds of things as a kid in Sunday school, it really struck me that night at youth group. And so I put my trust in Jesus for the first time. I made him the king of my life. I put him as number one. And so now, as I live, I don't need to worry about what other people think about me because I know what God thinks about me. And that is, he thinks that I'm so precious that he would send his one and only son to die for me.